Welcome back to the deep dive. Simon Squibb.
Hmm.
He's like this serial entrepreneur with a ton of experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's condensed like 30 years of business wisdom.
Wow.
So we've got a lot to unpack
Yeah, it's an incredible overview.
to help you on your own journey.
It covers the entire entrepreneurial life cycle, from like sparking that initial idea to eventually selling your business.
Right.
I'm particularly intrigued by his perspective on building a strong personal brand
Oh, yeah.
and how that can, make or break a company's success.
You know, that's something I hadn't really considered before.
Yeah.
But makes total sense.
Mhm.
But first,
Okay.
let's talk about his take on actually starting a business.
Okay.
Simon really throws out the traditional find a gap in the market approach.
Yeah.
He's all about starting with passion,
It is.
which I think is so refreshing.
And I think what's powerful about that approach is that it naturally leads to resilience. When you're truly passionate about something,
Yeah,
you're more likely to weather the inevitable storms that come with building a business.
totally. And think about it. When you're genuinely excited about what you're doing,
Right.
it comes across in everything you do, from your marketing
Uh-huh.
to your interactions with customers.
Yes.
That authenticity
Yes.
is magnetic.
He uses his own story with Fluid,
Oh, right.
his creative agency, as a prime example.
Okay.
He launched it in a crowded market,
Wow.
but his passion for marketing helped him differentiate himself
Mm-hmm.
and ultimately achieve success.
That makes me think about all the times I've gotten stuck in that I need to have the perfect, unique idea trap.
Right.
Simon's approach is liberating.
Totally.
It's like, just start with what you love,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest will follow.
He doesn't let you off the hook entirely, though.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of finding a partner with complementary skills
Yeah.
if there are gaps in your own abilities.
You know, this really resonates with me.
I think so many entrepreneurs, especially when they're starting out,
Mhm.
try to be superheroes
Yeah.
and do it all themselves.
Right.
But building a strong team, even from the beginning,
Yeah.
is crucial.
Absolutely.
Right.
It's all about leveraging diverse strengths.
Yeah.
And recognizing that you don't have to be an expert in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Simon really champions collaboration throughout his talk.
Yeah.
Whether it's finding a co-founder,
Right.
building a team,
Yeah.
or even engaging with customers as partners.
And he doesn't just stop at finding your passion and building a team.
Yeah.
He even encourages thinking outside the box when it comes to early revenue models.
I love that.
He uses Airbnb as a great example.
Okay.
They didn't start by trying to take on the entire hotel industry.
Right.
They started by selling cereal.
Right. Cereal boxes of all things.
No.
But it's such a brilliant illustration of his point.
It is.
Find creative ways to monetize your passion.
And test different revenue streams before going all in on a single model.
It's almost like he's
Yeah.
saying, don't overthink it. Just start experimenting and see what sticks.
Totally.
It's a much more agile approach than the traditional business plan model.
Speaking of which,
Okay.
Simon actually advocates ditching the rigid business plan altogether
Really?
in favor of mind maps.
Interesting.
He finds them to be more fluid and adaptable,
Okay.
allowing you to brainstorm ideas
Yeah.
and explore different directions for your business as it evolves.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
A mind map feels much less intimidating than a formal business plan
Right.
and allows for more creativity and flexibility.
Mm.
It's almost like a visual representation of all the possibilities.
Exactly.
Right.
And it can grow and change with your business.
No. Okay.
You can map out not only your initial idea,
Right.
but also potential revenue streams,
Mm-hmm.
future team members,
Wow.
even expansion plans. It
Interesting.
becomes this living document that guides your journey.
Okay, so we've talked about starting with passion,
Mm-hmm.
finding partners,
Yeah.
and being creative with revenue.
Right.
But what about actually winning in business?
Okay.
Here's where things get really interesting.
Right.
Simon stresses the importance of delayed gratification.
He uses companies like Facebook and Instagram as examples,
Oh, hey.
highlighting how they built massive user bases
Wow.
before even thinking about monetization.
Okay.
Their focus was on creating something truly valuable first,
Right.
and the financial rewards followed.
That's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the I need to make money now mentality.
Right.
But Simon's reminding us that sometimes the best strategy is to play the long game.
Absolutely.
And it's not just about patience.
Okay.
It's about building a strong brand and providing an exceptional customer experience.
Yes.
He uses Amazon as a prime example of this,
Oh, yeah.
emphasizing the relentless focus on customer centricity.
He even quotes Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos
Does he?
saying, "Culture eats strategy for breakfast."
Oh, wow.
That's a pretty powerful statement,
It is.
highlighting that even with the best strategy in the world,
Right?
if you don't have the right company culture,
Mm-hmm.
you're unlikely to succeed.
I think what's fascinating here is Simon's emphasis on mindset.
Yeah.
It's not just about working hard, but
Right.
about working smart, being adaptable,
Yes.
and understanding what success means for you,
Exactly.
not just chasing external validation.
He even tackles the concept of luck,
Oh, does he?
saying it's actually something you can hack.
Interesting.
Persistence, knowing your destination,
Mm-hmm.
and taking calculated risks are all key ingredients in his formula for success.
You know, it's funny.
Yeah.
So many people attribute success to luck. But when you look closely,
Yeah.
it's often the result of a combination of hard work,
Right.
preparation,
Yeah.
and being in the right place at the right time,
Yeah.
which you can influence to some degree by being proactive
Right.
and putting yourself out there.
Exactly. Now,
Yeah.
this is where Simon throws a bit of a curveball.
Okay.
He starts talking about the importance of embracing failure.
Embracing failure.
Yeah.
Okay.
This raises a really important question.
Okay.
How do we shift our perspective to view failure as a stepping stone
Mm-hmm.
rather than a setback?
Interesting.
Simon challenges us to let go of ego
Right.
and not be afraid to look like a loser
Okay.
in the pursuit of long-term success.
He even compares successful entrepreneurs to D students.
I know, right?
You know, the ones who weren't afraid to experiment,
Right.
take risks,
Yeah.
and learn from their mistakes.
Hmm.
It definitely challenges the traditional view of failure as something negative.
And he's right. The traditional education system
Yeah.
often punishes failure,
Right.
but in the real world, especially in entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
it's often through our mistakes
Mm.
that we learn the most valuable lesson.
Okay, so we've talked about starting a business
Mhm.
and winning in business,
Yeah,
and even embracing failure along the way.
right.
But now let's get into some of the practical tools and strategies that Simon recommends.
Yeah.
He spends a good chunk of time walking us through creating a mind map,
Yeah.
emphasizing its flexibility and potential for exploring different directions.
He encourages you to map out not only your business idea,
Right.
but also your team,
Mm-hmm.
your potential revenue streams,
Oh, wow.
even future expansion plans.
Okay.
It's like a visual brainstorming session that can help you see the big picture
Yeah.
and make connections you might not have otherwise made.
I love how he demystifies the process.
Yeah.
He even gives specific examples of how he uses mind maps in his own businesses.
Yeah.
Which makes it feel much more accessible. And he doesn't shy away from tackling that big,
Right.
often overwhelming question of finding your purpose.
Yeah.
He emphasizes that it's deeply personal,
Mm.
encouraging us to reflect on what truly brings us joy and what problems we want to solve in the world.
What's reassuring is that he acknowledges you don't have to have all the answers
Right.
or solve everything single-handedly.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's about identifying your unique contribution
Okay.
and then finding your tribe,
Yeah.
those who share your passion
Uh-huh.
and can help you amplify your impact.
I think a lot of people, myself included, get
Yeah.
stuck in that I need to have it all figured out mentality. But Simon's approach is much more about the journey, about continually exploring and evolving your purpose as you go.
He even delves into the nitty-gritty of finding a co-founder,
Oh, does he?
comparing it to, well, finding a life partner.
Wow. Okay.
It's about finding someone with complementary skills,
Yeah.
shared values,
Mm-hmm.
and that all-important ability to hold you accountable.
That analogy really struck me.
Yeah.
It highlights the level of trust and compatibility
Right.
that's needed in a successful co-founder relationship.
Mm.
It's not just about finding someone with the right skills.
Right.
It's about finding someone you can truly rely on and grow with.
His advice is to be crystal clear about what you're looking for in a co-founder
Yeah.
and not be afraid to put it out there. You might be surprised who shows up.
Now let's shift gears and talk about marketing and PR.
Okay.
Simon is clearly not a fan of those outdated spray and pray tactics like billboards.
Right.
He advocates for a much more nuanced and authentic approach.
He criticizes the over-reliance on vanity metrics,
Oh, really?
like views and impressions,
Okay.
urging businesses to focus on targeted marketing that genuinely resonates with their ideal customer.
Right?
He even suggests weaving elements of company culture
Okay.
and employee care into the marketing strategy.
Interesting.
using Starbucks' early approach as a successful example.
That's such a great point.
Yeah.
In today's world, consumers are savvy.
Right.
And can spot inauthenticity a mile away.
Totally.
People want to support businesses that align with their values. And that includes how a company treats its employees.
He's also a big advocate for building a strong personal brand as a business owner.
Okay.
He points out that in today's digital landscape,
Yeah.
your online presence can impact everything from securing funding
Right.
to attracting media coverage.
I can definitely see that journalists are much more likely to cover a company
Right.
if they respect and trust the person behind it.
Exactly.
And investors, too, are looking for founders
Yes.
with a clear vision and a strong personal brand.
He suggests actively engaging with journalists,
Oh, okay.
understanding their needs,
Uh-huh.
and offering value.
Yeah.
This is where a strong personal brand can really shine
Right.
as it builds credibility and trust.
So it's not just about broadcasting your message to the masses.
Yeah.
It's about building genuine relationships and adding value to the conversation.
Exactly. He also stresses the importance of building systems for your marketing efforts
Okay.
to ensure consistency and efficiency across multiple platforms.
Yeah.
But he cautions against spreading yourself too thin.
Right.
It's better to focus on a few key channels and do them really well than to try to be everywhere at once.
That's something I struggle with constantly,
Yeah.
wanting to be on every platform and do everything.
Right?
But I think he's right.
Yeah.
It's better to be strategic and focused,
Mm-hmm.
especially when you're starting out.
He's a big believer in a multifaceted approach,
Okay.
incorporating branding, PR, messaging, and a deep understanding of your target market.
Right.
And all of this should be anchored in authenticity and aligning your marketing efforts with your core values.
Okay, let's talk money.
All right.
Simon explores a variety of funding options beyond the traditional venture capitalist route, highlighting the importance of knowing what's right for your business and circumstances.
He starts by championing bootstrapping,
Okay.
prioritizing organic growth,
Uh-huh.
and minimizing reliance on external funding. This approach gives you more control over your business and can lead to greater long-term profitability.
He also suggests tapping into personal networks,
Yeah.
family and friends,
Right.
but emphasizes the importance of transparency and honesty about the risks involved.
It's crucial to treat these relationships with respect
Yeah.
and make sure everyone understands the potential downsides as well as the potential upsides.
He then talks about crowdfunding,
Yeah.
which has become an increasingly popular option for entrepreneurs.
It has.
He breaks down the different types of crowdfunding,
Okay.
pre-selling products, raising equity, or seeking community support,
Yeah.
and discusses the pros and cons of each approach.
Crowdfunding can be a great way to validate your idea,
Right.
build a community around your product or service,
Yeah.
and secure funding without giving up equity.
Interesting.
But it's important to go into it with a clear strategy and realistic expectations.
He even suggests exploring strategic partnerships with clients or brands who might be willing to fund your expansion in exchange for equity or a closer working relationship.
This is where building those genuine relationships we were talking about earlier can really pay off.
Yeah.
A strong partnership can provide not only funding,
Right.
but also access to new markets, distribution channels,
Okay.
and valuable expertise.
Now, for those seeking angel investors or venture capitalists,
Okay.
Simon offers some really insightful advice.
Yeah.
When approaching angel investors, he suggests focusing on seeking help and advice
Right.
rather than directly asking for money.
It's about building a relationship and demonstrating that you value their expertise. Angels are often experienced entrepreneurs themselves
Right.
and can provide invaluable guidance and mentorship.
He stresses the importance of tailoring your pitch to highlight the value that the angel investor can bring to the table,
Right.
whether it's their network, their experience in a particular industry, or their ability to open doors.
And a little bit of FOMO,
Right.
that fear of missing out. Never hurts either, right?
Right.
People are naturally drawn to opportunities that others are excited about.
Exactly.
And when it comes to venture capitalists, Simon recommends thoroughly researching their investment history to understand their interests
Right.
and whether they even have funds available to deploy.
Okay.
You don't want to waste your time pitching to a VC who's not a good fit for your business.
He also emphasizes the power of a warm introduction.
Yeah.
Just like with angel investors.
Yeah.
If you can get a referral from someone in their network, or even better, one of their portfolio companies,
Yeah.
it can make all the difference in getting your foot in the door.
Now, let's shift gears again.
Okay.
And talk about the often overlooked aspect of business,
Right.
selling your business.
Okay.
This is where Simon offers some truly counterintuitive advice.
Okay, what's that?
He says the best way to sell your business is to, well, not want to sell it at all.
Wait, really? That sounds a bit paradoxical, doesn't it?
It does.
Okay.
But his point is that this mindset gives you leverage in negotiations
Right.
and ensures you'll receive maximum value for your company.
Okay.
If you're not desperate to sell,
Uh-huh.
you're in a much stronger position to walk away from a deal.
Right.
That's not in your best interest.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about knowing your worth
Mm-hmm.
and not settling for less than you deserve.
Exactly. He also suggests building relationships with potential buyers,
Okay.
including competitors
Interesting.
and companies in adjacent industries,
Yeah.
as partnerships can often evolve into acquisitions.
Right.
You never know where your next opportunity might come from.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's important to stay open to different possibilities.
And for those who want to ensure a smooth transition
Yeah.
and reward their team's contributions, he encourages exploring options like management buyouts, where your team takes ownership of the company.
This can be a win-win for everyone involved,
Wow.
allowing the founder to exit gracefully,
Mm-hmm.
the team to benefit from their hard work,
Yeah.
and the business to continue thriving under new leadership.
What's interesting here is Simon's emphasis on building genuine relationships throughout your entrepreneurial journey, whether it's with customers, employees,
Yeah.
investors, or even competitors.
Yes.
These connections can ultimately lead to unexpected opportunities.
Totally.
Including a successful exit. Wow, I feel like we just ran a marathon through Simon's brain. That was a whirlwind of information.
It was a lot, yeah.
But you know what really struck me?
What's that?
Is how he emphasizes the human element in all of this. It's not just about numbers and strategies.
Yeah.
It's about building genuine relationships and finding your tribe.
Absolutely.
Mm.
It's about connecting with people who share your passion
Right.
and understanding that business, at its core,
Mm-hmm.
is about solving problems for others.
Huh.
And that requires empathy, collaboration,
Right.
and a genuine desire to make a difference.
And he's got this infectious optimism that
Mhm.
makes you believe anything is possible. I mean, who knew selling cereal boxes could be a stepping stone to $1 billion business?
Right. It's a fantastic reminder that sometimes the most unconventional paths lead to the greatest success.
So having explored all of this,
Yeah.
what stands out most to you from everything Simon shared?
Honestly, his emphasis on purpose-driven entrepreneurship really resonated with me. You know,
Okay.
it's not just about making money.
Yeah.
It's about creating something that aligns with your values
Uh-huh.
and contributes something positive to the world.
Mm-hmm.
And he makes a compelling case for why this approach ultimately leads to more fulfilling and sustainable success.
He definitely challenges us to think differently about traditional business models, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's experimenting with revenue streams, embracing failure as a learning opportunity, or finding unconventional ways to secure funding.
Indeed. And he reminds us that building a successful business is a marathon, not a sprint. It takes patience,
Right.
persistence, and a willingness to adapt and evolve along the way.
This has been such a thought-provoking deep dive.
Yeah, it really has.
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on entrepreneurship.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to hear from someone like Simon, who's not only achieved incredible success, but is also so generous in sharing his wisdom and insights.
And you know, we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
But I think the best way to wrap this up is to leave you with a question to ponder.
Yeah.
If you could apply just one of Simon's strategies to your own goals, whether it's starting a business,
Okay, yeah.
advancing your career,
Yeah.
or just navigating life,
Wow.
which would it be and why?
That's a great question to reflect on. It's all about finding those nuggets of wisdom
Yeah.
that resonate most deeply with you,
Right.
and then having the courage to put them into action.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Simon's Quip.
It's been a pleasure.
We'll be back next time with another fascinating exploration of your sources. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.